Greetings and salutations, greetings and salutations, greetings and salutations. What a guan, what a guan. So this is Fabian Seh, season 2, and I'm going to start with the greeting, Happy International Women's Day when it comes tomorrow. So I'm going to go on record to be the first one to wish you that. What that mean, Fabian? What is International Women's Day? Well, this happens every year, and it's a day to focus on issues related to women and girls in a really serious and concentrated way. And each year there's a theme. And the theme for this year is choose to challenge, so hashtag choose to challenge. And it says a challenge world is an alert world. Individually, we're all responsible for our own thoughts and actions all day, every day. We can choose to challenge and call out gender bias and inequality. We can all choose to seek out and celebrate women's achievements. Collectively, we can all help create an inclusive world. Me like it, me like it, me like it. Oh, I have to tell the story of the shirt I'm wearing. So, my co-conspirator, Damon Levy, said he did some research, as he wants to do, and pointed out that the colors, the main color for International Women's Day is purple, and combined with green if possible. I was wearing a different shirt, and Damien made this point, and I said, oh. Then I remember that this shirt you see me wearing now, I have never worn before. I buck upon it in my closet under another shirt. So I'm wearing it for the first time. Look at that, International Women's Day. And guess what? Purple happens to be my favorite color. This was a little problematic because I went to Calabar, but me not pre that. Purple is my favorite color, but I went to Calabar. So speaking of that, Calabar, all boys schools. Do you remember where you got your attitudes from about the differences between men and women, boys and girls? Not just biologically and anatomically, but in terms of society, gender, gender roles, gender behavior, gender expectations. What were the influences on you as a man or woman? When did you pick up the difference, what it meant to be a boy, what was expected of you as a man, or what is expected of you as a woman? And did you or do you consciously create your own construct of what that looks like, about your behavior in the world, in society, in your home? Are you an individual moving through with a strong and clear sense about rights-based approaches? So women's rights, men's rights, children's rights, animal rights, nature's rights, LGBTQI rights. Do you believe in rights, civil rights? So where are you on your journey around gender issues, gender equality? Do we even recognize gender inequality? So International Women's Day draws attention to these issues, and like we said with the theme, pinpoints a conversation. There was and always has been backlash from some far-right men's groups who are saying, oh, these women are tearing down men and criticizing us and blaming us for everything. No youth, no brethren, no my brothers. That's not it. It really is about looking at what women and girls endure, victimized, vulnerabilized, violence and aggression. The biggest predator and danger to women and girls are men and boys. That's just the truth. The statistics are there. We have it in our family, in our communities, in our societies. The expectation of boys versus girls. In some cultures and societies, what men have access to versus what women have access to. It's more pronounced in some places, but it's everywhere. So here's the reality. We can't deny the existence of patriarchy. We just can't. We can't deny the inequalities. We can't deny the baterations and the bruising and the mistreatment that women and girls endure. What we have to do is have a conversation around creating a world where there's equality, where there's respect, where women and girls are safe and safe from men and boys. A lot of boards or big companies, you get fewer and fewer women as you go up the ladder. Yes, some spaces are heavily feminized, teaching, other spaces. That's because society say, well, that's a woman's thing. women are nurturers. And I always ask the question, when did nurturing and love become a gender thing? But we've genderized it. So we have to look at and have real conversations around women being safe, women and girls being able to achieve their highest without barrier, without blockage, and without us as men and boys feeling threatened by that. Is creating the spaces that we have control of. What do we tolerate? When you hear your brethren or somebody you don't know making a sexist joke, making sexually explicit comments, when you see a big, tough ass staring man calling to what is clearly a little girl, but you walk past and don't say anything. We have to kind of step up, choose to challenge. So we have to start by challenging ourselves. What kind of man am I? What do I want for the women and the girls in my life? And what do I want for the women and the girls in the world? Women and girls who I don't know in the world. What kind of world do I want? And what role am I playing to advance that? When you hear the stats, then like 1 in every 5 women raped, abused, molested, and by an intimate partner. For a lot of women, the most imminent danger is not the man lurking in the bushes. It's not some stranger. It's somebody in their house, in their family, in their community, somebody they know. There's a powerful line from Color Purple where Sophia says,
"All my life I had to fight. I had to fight my daddy. I had to fight my uncles. I had to fight my brothers. Girl child ain't safe in the family men's. But I ain't never thought I had to fight in my own house."
That made my blood run cold then. Color Purple happens to be my favorite movie of all time. But it's so real and so true. I've heard stories from women that I know and love, and even women who I don't know well, in workshop spaces, in conversations, talk about just being at risk, feeling unsafe, being in danger. There are women who have been molested or raped multiple times. What you mean? And yet this woman or this girl is alive, not crazy, in the world. You were raped 5 times? What does that even mean? And what does that look like? So we have to create and have these uncomfortable conversations, honor the difficult, and talk to ourselves, our brethren, our sons, our cousins, but also our women. We have to hear women and stop trying to muzzle them. Stop mansplaining. Stop trying to say, oh, stop blaming us. We're not the worst thing since sliced bread. Hear the authentic truth of women and girls when they say, we are being hurt, we are being raped and molested, we are being overlooked, we are being objectified, and deal with it. Deal with the thing. And then say, how can we make this better? How can I be better? How can I be a better man, a better friend, a better ally? How can I champion the cause of women and girls? Does that mean you must champion the cause of men and boys? No, that's not what it means. So I mentioned, International Men's Day. A lot of people rubbish that. It's November 19th. And I've always said, no, it's an important day, not to tear down or belittle the women's rights or women's movement, but for men to have spaces to learn, to be educated by women, by girls, but also by them brethren and by other men, to talk about the behaviors and attitudes that put women and girls at risk. So the idea of toxic masculinity has become like a buzzword, a buzz phrase. And I have some challenges with it. And my main challenge is a lot of the way it's being used now suggests that masculinity as a thing is toxic all the time, which is not the issue. There are many behaviors that some men exhibit, and some men exhibit repeatedly, that are toxic and that are dangerous. And we must tackle, mash up, dismantle those behaviors. And even for men and boys growing up, there's an ironic way in which what is toxic in one space is good and righteous in another. So if you are bold and aggressive and able to physically protect your family, to physically protect your mother, your girlfriend, your sister, your children by fighting or being aggressive, very few people are going to tell you, oh, that's bad, that's terrible. But brethren, when you turn that onto your mother, your sister, women and girls, that is toxic. when you are beating up, bullying, talking over, belittling women and girls, that's a problem. So it's about juggling and knowing what, where, and when. And also for men, getting help with issues. If you have an anger management issue, deal with it. You know, a lot of men say, boy, should diss me, and worse, should diss me for my brethren them. That does not give you the right to hit anybody. We have to learn to walk away, have a conversation about the behavior, about what you felt, about the disrespect. But it doesn't mean this. You know, it doesn't mean that. It can't mean that. We have to protect our girls and women. We have to want a society and a world where there is equality and respect, where there's the honoring of the role that women play and girls. You know, they call it the feminine, the holy feminine, the goddess, the birth, mothers, mothering, that energy. But also for men to not be afraid of the feminine in you. You know, we have these spins. I find it ironic sometimes. I say to people, it's so interesting that men who identify as heterosexual, who often say almost them love woman, are some of the most brutal, unkind, unfair, and vicious to the same women and girls that them say them love. It's a powerful and interesting thing. So to explore that, what makes us so angry? What makes you as a man think you have the right to control and physically abuse and sexually abuse and overpower a woman and a girl? Where that come from? That has to be healed inside you. So I'm affirming and I want a world where equality are in the place, where it's respect, where there's healthy relationships, healthy exchanges, where there's allyship. See that there's a he for she campaign, which I love, where men must talk up for women's rights and girls' rights. Men and boys must be protecting, challenging them brethren under the tree, on the corner, whether a role a thing or not, football, in the boardroom, wherever. Men must say, nope, I'm sorry, that joke they can't keep. Or the way you spoke to Miss Clark just now, disrespectful. I think you need to apologize. We have to start to call it, but we have to also start to call it and name it in ourselves. You know, and then men being healthier, showing up as better men who are not victimizing, who are not abusing, who are not disrespecting women and girls, and who are helping to dismantle patriarchy and are helping to dismantle and mash down male privilege. Because we're calling it, we're challenging it, we are choosing to challenge ourselves and the other brethren and men and boys around us and stand up with and for our women, girls, sisters, mothers, aunties, cousins, the whole shebang. So I'm going to end this by saying, Happy International Women's Day. Have a conversation, talk to somebody. Let's do this. Women and girls, blessings, love, and light from Fabian Seh. Enough love.